His trial was harrowing, as Lynn Sells, the girl who survived his attack, took the stand to testify against him. Despite her obvious trauma, Crystal held firm. Her voice quivered, but her resolve was unshakable. When asked how she managed to survive, she simply said, "I knew I had to live." Her bravery in the face of such horror became one of the key factors that led to Sells's conviction. For the next 14 years, Sells sat on death row, where he continued his erratic behavior. He alternated between confessing to more murders, recanting his statements, and manipulating journalists and investigators. He thrived on attention and sought to control the narrative of his life. He wanted to be remembered, feared, and immortalized in the annals of crime. But by the time his execution came, he had run out of things to say. On April 3rd, 2014, Lynn Sells was executed by lethal injection at the Texas State Penitentiary in Huntsville. He refused to make a final statement. After his death, law enforcement revisited a number of cold cases that might have involved Sells. Some families found closure, while others were left with even more unanswered questions. For many, the only lingering connection to Sells was the horrifying possibility that their loved one's death had been part of his random spree of violence. That someone they loved might have been just another victim of a man who killed without warning, without reason, and without mercy. Lynn Sells remains one of the lesser known but most terrifying killers in modern criminal history, not only because of the lives he violently claimed, but also because of the unsettling randomness with which he did so. His killings lacked any clear pattern, purpose, or motive. Each act was a senseless eruption of violence, seemingly without reason or warning. This chaotic unpredictability made him an even more chilling figure, as his victims were often chosen at random, leaving families to wonder if their loved ones were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, or if they had become yet another casualty of Sells's inexplicable thirst for destruction. For those left behind, the unanswered questions and haunting uncertainty continue to echo, deepening the tragedy of his little-known reign of terror. His name was Gilles de Rais, and if you've never heard that name before, it's not because his story isn't well documented. It is. His case is one of the earliest and most disturbing records of a serial killer in history. But unlike the killers we know today, the Bundys, the Dahmers, the Gacy's, Gilles de Rais was not born in some back alley. He was not shaped by poverty or neglect or a broken home. He was born into privilege, nobility, and glory. He was once considered a hero of France, a companion of Joan of Arc, a man who fought with honor, spoke with elegance, and commanded with pride. So how did a man like that become something else entirely, something inhuman? That's the story you're about to hear. But I'll warn you, it starts with light and ends in absolute darkness. Gilles was born in 1405 into one of the most prestigious families in all of France. His family owned vast swaths of land, castles, armies, and more wealth than some kings. But tragedy came early. His father died in a bizarre hunting accident, impaled on his own lance, and his mother, reportedly broken by grief, passed not long after. Gilles, just a child, was handed over to his grandfather, a cruel and calculated man named Jean de Craon. Jean wasn't interested in love. He was interested in legacy.